Gosh, it was a cold night last night. I mean, I love the cold, right? I'm a penguin, but like it was really cold and it got down to like almost 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And you know, my ex part-time friend texted me back. She said how how sad she was that we weren't going to go see the stars. Because in a couple weeks we were supposed to drive like 3 hours down south together and watch the stars when the moon wasn't out. I mean, I know that sounds romantic, but we were going to go as friends. I mean, it was going to be really cool, see the constellations, see the Milky Way. And, made me feel alone all again. Made me remember a time when I was with my dad, living alone. I remember we were supposed to go to church one of those times, and I remember waking up and looking for him, and he wasn't there. And I remember going through all the stages of grief and anger and acceptance. Of course, the acceptance didn't come till much later, but I think I was in denial that he was drinking, or was an alcoholic. I remember even other people at school would tell me about it, and I would be in denial. And that's never a great feeling when other people at school know that your dad's an alcoholic and you don't. But I remember missing church that day, and I remember being alone. So I feel like being alone now, I'm going through those stages. It's hard to make friends, especially ones that leave you, because you still have to go through kind of the stages of anger and grief and loss and I don't even know them all. I just know what I feel, and it feels terrible. Gosh, can't even explain. I just remember waking up by myself, and there was no way to get a hold of him. And I had to have another friend's mother, who was acting as my surrogate mom. She passed away a few years back, but my best friend's mother had to take me into church. And it just wasn't a great feeling. So it's weird. It's weird now that I'm trying to go back there and I'm trying to relate with my dad. I mean, my dad seems happy and he's married and he lives down in Texas still. But, like, why would I pick up a drink ever in my life, But I feel like I never got to know him, and it's like the one thing that we could have together sometimes. I don't know. And that sounds messed up, right? But going back and forth, it's hard to have friendships now because it's hard to meet people, trust people. Besides my boys, like I want to be as good as I possibly can be for them, but it's hard. How good of an example am I if I can't make friends and stuff and keep friends? And if I can't go through the stages of grief and loss like a good adult? I don't know. I feel like I'm terrible at it. It's terrible. It never feels good. Ever, 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 ever. Nobody likes to lose a friend. Nobody likes to get divorced either. I mean, it was good in our situation. We'll probably talk about that later, but it was a good thing for us and for our kids. I think in a lot of ways it can be good if people are mature about it. But even divorce, you go through the stages of loss and grief and acceptance. And I don't know, it's still taking me time to get through the acceptance part. I still have nights where I'm really sad, and every time I'm alone, I think about that. and it pulls me back, and it's like I can't accept it. Like I can't accept the divorce. I can't accept being alone again. Because I couldn't back then with my dad. I needed to move with my mom, you know? And then I struggle with my ADHD. Because when I do move with my mom, or when I do get close to family, I have a hard time being with people because of the anxiety and the pressure and the just really hard to be around people 24/7. Even my boys, but they are young, you know? They're young little penguins, but they, you know, they have a lot of energy, and I can only handle it so much before I have to check out mentally and even physically just to keep up with that. So I don't know. It sucks to be alone. But sometimes you have to. And that's a terrible thought to think of sometimes. Sometimes you function better on it. Anyway. Yeah, just thinking about my dad. Just from that text from that girl, you know? How we won't be able to go and watch the stars in a few weeks together. Because she's in this new relationship and we can't be friends now. So, anyway, alright, next topic.